walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting strong.
You know what fucking hurts? When you look around and realize people you thought were your friends aren't your fucking friends.
You think that hurts? Imagine you're about to take your lunch so you can eat your hot dog, but then your coworker comes in and tries to tell you that you guys are having a meeting and therefore pushing lunch back to 1:30, which first off, I don't even think is something you can do, all just so someone can catch their flight back to Chicago. So you put the hot dog up your sleeve and then you go to the meeting and try to take a couple bites here or there because it's lunchtime, you're hungry, and then your coworker tries to accuse you of eating a hot dog. So you try to play it off, saying that you're the most tired you've ever been in your life. But then one by one, more and more people try to accuse you of eating a hot dog. And so you panic and you try to eat it really quickly. And it ends up getting stuck in your throat. And it causes this whole scene during the meeting. And then weeks down the road, they fire you. And they try to tell you that it's because of poor performance. But they know that it's not because of performance. They know that it's not because of poor performance. They know that it's actually because everyone in the office can't look at you without dying of laughter. That hurts.
You know what fucking hurts?
Hello. Happy Friday. How are we doing? I'm just going to give it a second just because we're on a little bit of a delay and I don't have the delayed version up. So I'm just going to give it 1 second. The people roll on in and you guys can see that we are live. What's going on, everyone? Okie dokie. Let's see if it is working good. Yay. Okay. So we are good. Hi, everybody. It is Friday. So you know what that means? That we are going to be talking everything. Also, ignore the TikTok that you just saw. I'm so sorry. That was supposed to be at like the end of another video and I hit the wrong button. So I guess I can't be trusted with the buttons, but that's okay. Anywho, guys, it's Friday and it is Lily's news time. And I'm Lily and I have a hair in my eyeball and I forgot my glasses. I'm dog sitting. That didn't help. That didn't make anything look better. So I'm dog sitting right now. So I'm kind of like all over the place. And so I don't have my glasses. So if I start squinting in like 20 minutes, I'm so sorry. But anywho, it's Lily's news. It's Friday and we have things to do. So Damon, if you're still here, I watched Tremors. For the first time. So every week I am watching a cult classic, an iconic film that I haven't seen yet. And this week was Tremors. So I'm really excited to kind of do a play-by-play for you guys. I did it a little differently. I was taking notes vigorously throughout Tremors because I was having a great time. So, but I have lots of thoughts. I have lots of questions. I have lots of topics, lots of things to talk about. So I did like a full play-by-play of the movie for you. So it'll be a great refresher if you haven't seen the movie, or if you have seen the movie, but it's just been forever. It'll be a great refresher. What else are we talking about? We're talking about some Twitter, Elon Musk again, because for some reason, he's just everywhere and I hate it. And I need to keep saying it. I just picked up, I didn't shake it. I just picked up a Culture Pop soda. Guys, let me tell you about this before we get started. Fizzy and gutsy. Oh my gosh. So officially my words aren't working. So sorry. Probiotic soda. And this is the pink grapefruit, ginger, and juniper. I highly suggest if you ever have an opportunity to give it a try. It's delicious. It's like, so sweet. And then once it hits the back of your throat, it has that ginger. Oh, it's amazing. So I love that. That's my thing now. I'm a Culture Pop soda girl now. Anywho, so let's get into it because we have so much. I don't even know if I could fit all this in an hour. So let's just jump right on in to what we have going on. All right. Are we ready to talk about Tremors in extreme detail? Like, I don't know if you guys are absolutely ready for what is actually about to happen. Because when I tell you I was taking notes, like I was commenting and putting it on, I like to say onto paper, but right into my Word document for this evening. So let's just start with Tremors. Let me move things aside on my computer so I can see some chat if you guys want to. Feel free to chat along. If you are here, please say hi. I'm happy to have you. It's good to see you. And we're chatting away. So Tremors. Tremors is Tremors. If you haven't seen Tremors, there's the whole thing's, I'm going to spoil the whole thing. So massive spoiler alert, but it also came out in 1990, so you're lost. Tremors Roundup. So opening scene, Earl gets shaken out of the back of a truck in a tan/dust covered sleeping bag. And we know it's Earl because Valentine, who is Kevin Bacon, is screaming, Earl. And he looks like a little tremor thing. So it's a great foreshadowing of the little, what makes the tremors, the creatures. I don't even think we've landed on a name of them, even by the end of the movie. So I don't know the term yet. I still don't. I just started. Also, his name might not be Earl. So at this point, I'm not sure if his name is Earl. It's been like 1 minute into the film. So early thoughts. I don't know if they're father and son, boyfriend, best friends, confusion, little confusion, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. So I think this might have been Kevin Bacon's first time ever using a hammer, because very, very early on in the movie, they're putting barbed wire onto fence posts, and he's hammering like that big kind of squared off metal, like nail staple into the wooden fence post. And I swear that was Kevin Bacon's first time ever using a hammer. This man, he I think missing the nail wasn't part of the script, but they had to leave it in because I don't think he was able to hit it. No offense, Kevin. I'm sure you're better with a hammer now, but oh my gosh. So I needed to pause because I needed to make a note that these two are off. They're handymen, and they're out here doing odd jobs, trying to keep their wallets full. And so I needed to pause for the quote that came up very soon after in the movie. And it was very much Valentine, Kevin Bacon's character, quotes, "You will have long blonde hair, big green eyes, world-class breasts, ass that won't quit, and legs that go all the way up," end quote. And I was immediately disappointed. And that's what you get, fool. Like, you're gonna be sad and lonely because no one's ever gonna meet those qualifications. And of course, then we run across Rhonda, who is the college student out here measuring seismic activity. Good thing, just in time for the tremors to happen. And so she is showing us the first warning of something strange. She's a college student, like I said, and they call them vibrations in the ground. So Earl is out here speaking facts to Valentine, telling him he's going to be alone forever if he don't fix his list. And that looks in everything, and I love that. Props to him. Earl knows what's good. So we make it to Walter Ching's Everything Store, and this is where we meet Walter, and I screamed. You guys, I had such a vivid core memory unlocked when I saw this man's face. So Walter is played by Victor Wong, and Victor Wong played the grandpa in the most iconic film of all time, 1992, setting in, about to round off the decade almost with these iconic films, Three Ninjas, right? So 1992, we get blessed with Three Ninjas. And when I tell you I watched this movie, sorry, this kids being kids. When I tell you I watched Three Ninjas at least 250 times in my entire life. I've watched Three Ninjas at least 250 times in my entire life. I love that film. I'm not big on the sequels. The original, iconic. We have it on VHS. I'm sure we still have it because it has the tape on it and everything. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. So extremely underrated. If you've never seen it, I highly suggest. And it's full of action and life lessons. And my love of red licorice stemmed from Three Ninjas, without a doubt. If you know, you know. And you also might recognize Victor Wong from Big Trouble in Little China as well. But let's continue. I paused the movie there to make all these notes because, oh my God, it was amazing. So then comes our first moment, our first sighting of the unknown, of what's happening. The ground rises and shifts as if there's an underground wave, which is pretty cool. And then it turns out that Earl and Valentine are just having a shitty day, literally and figuratively, pumping out a septic tank or whatever. I guess it would be a septic tank. Doesn't go as planned. It gets a little messy, and they're done. They've had it. They are not about this life no more. They are on their way out. They pack up their truck. And the infamous words were said, ain't nothing gonna stop us. And not so many words, but pretty much they said that. And just like that, a dead guy on a power pole. When I tell you this movie goes, it goes. Like, you hopped in a car and you're like, all right, let's get on a road trip. And there's no stopping to fill up with gas. There's no getting snacks. There's no fluff in your pillow. It's 0 to 60. We are on the move with Tremors. The seismographs are going crazy for Rhonda. Vibrations are happening. Then a sheep farmer gets sucked into the ground, and all the sheep, there's nothing left but blood and cotton balls. Valentine finds the farmer's head under the hat in the little farm that he has. A construction guy a construction guy hit. He was like jackhammering into the ground, and he hit the worm. We'll just call it a worm just for ease. And it oozed upwards out of the ground. It didn't like it, got mad, took off. Unfortunately, OSHA was not on the job for these construction workers, and the power cord for the jackhammer got caught on one of the guys' feet, and he got sucked off, and another construction worker ran after him, and they both, let's just say, ended. So panic is setting in, and questions who, when, how, like what is going on. They're stuck in the desert, no police, no help, and now they have a piece of it because Valentine and Earl were trying to get out of town, but because of the construction workers' shenanigans, they basically collapsed like a ledge of like rock and stuff onto the road, so there's no way out because there's only one road in and one road out, and it's the same damn road. And so there was no way out of this town at all. Apparently they couldn't make it out. So what do? So there's some random characters like Jim. He got sucked into the ground. And honestly, okay, so this is Jim and his wife. They're finishing up, like building things, and it's nighttime, and they're like, oof, sweaty business. And then the generator for their trailer stops. They do a little inspect and a little investigation, and Jim ends up getting sucked into the ground. And his wife, I don't know her name, she doesn't do a good job. She could have tried a little harder to get him out. She's like digging. She's just like, oh no. Oh no. She's like, it's difficult, but it could have been better. It could have been better. And so, but we got out. First, we got our first good look at the creature in this situation. It's stinky and it's weird, it's weird. You guys have seen it. Also, why didn't his wife get out of the car when she was being sucked in? So she runs after Jim gets sucked into the ground. His wife runs to the car, gets in the car, and then there's no keys in the car. Oh my God, where are the keys? This is very bad. But the radio is playing. So, I don't know. And the lights were on, but there were no keys in the car. Questions. And so then she starts getting slowly sucked in as well to the ground, but she does not get out of the car. I mean, she would have gotten eaten if she did get out of the car, but it's neither here or there. I made a note. She had time. Okay, so then the hunt begins. Melvin is a teenage boy that we've come across a couple of times now in this film, and he's just a dick. And so the guys learned pretty quick that horses were a bad choice to go hunt these underground worm body eaters with, and the horses get eaten. but now they know that these creatures like live underground. They're there, right? And they're like, oh my God, we found it. Not one of it, just it. And it's one big nasty thing with like just little nasty tongue things, which is what they received, what they like got stuck to the truck from earlier in the movie. But little did the creature know, concrete is a lot stronger than it looks. Well, they don't have eyes, so they never saw it coming. Sorry, I had a lot of fun writing this out because this movie was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So they are able to kind of like run away from one of the creatures, and it hits a concrete wall from what looks to be like a man-made sort of like river or creek, and it dies. They're like, wow, cool, we did it. Yay, go us. But my concern is how quickly they went to investigate what they have never seen before and like just believe it to be not alive anymore. And they were just like playing with it. But there are more than one. Oh, and this is where we kind of get a glimpse that this is also a love story. It's not just Tremors. It's also a moment of love and kindness, and we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so we know they sense vibrations in the ground, which kind of attracts them because they don't have eyeballs to see. And Valentine, Earl, and Rhonda are now stuck on a rock because another one comes and they're running and they get on a rock, big rock in the desert. And Rhonda has a brilliant idea, pole vaulting. Duh. So everyone's gathered at the store after this. So they pole vault away, get to the truck, and they live. And so they make it to the store. And they're all concerned on what they're naming them and where they're from. And Melvin's still a dick. But now the creatures made it to the home base, the store, right? So they're under attack. And one person is missing. The little girl who pogos. Remember the little girl who pogos? Yes. So guys, I get it. It's 1990, right? Like pogoing is all the rage, but kids are the worst in movies. Kids are the worst in movies. So you're telling me that once they came back with a story of these massive worm-like creatures, you're not going to bring your pogoing preteen inside? Like, nah, she's good. She's good out there. Nothing's going to happen to her. Like, bring her inside. What are you doing? Anywho, that's wild. So then we have a big fight scene with the worm. Rhonda gets tied up in some barbed wire, and Valentine, with his very quick thinking, thank goodness, has her take her pants off. And just in the nick of time, too, because then the iconic scene of the moving floorboards, like in a wave formation, as they're all kind of running back into the store. Brilliant. Very cool. Very cool. But also, like, kind of pervy. Chalk it up to the 90s, right? So here come the tears. This is the saddest moment in this whole film for me. The saddest. I'm crying. Tears streaming down my face. My Walter got in the most dramatic of ways too. I think he got eaten in the most traumatic and dramatic way that any other character got eaten. Yeah, you're getting sucked down, but like you don't see. But Walter had like blood coming out of his eyes. It was like swinging. It was like he was flopping from side to side. Like it was a whole thing. It was very traumatic. It was a hard night's sleep. But man. Ay. And Rhonda is a mess. She's making she's making this difficult for a lot of people. So we do a time check here. It's just about an hour into the film, and I'm loving it. 8 out of 10. Side note: Reba McEntire, 1990s Reba McEntire, love it. Stan, she's an icon. She is a queen. And then let's see. I don't know Reba's character name, so I'm just gonna call her Reba because we all know Reba McEntire. And Bert. They are in the basement making hella noise, and they refuse to listen to their friends because all the friends, after this big fight scene, they made it up to the rooftops. Melvin's on the roof. Some other rando guy, he's on a roof of something that's not very sturdy, and he gets eaten. Earl, Valentine, and another guy are on the roof. Everyone's on the roof. Safety. Roof. For so long. But they have a radio. They're radioing Reba and Bert, who live kind of just on the other side of town. They can kind of see, like, with little binoculars, what's going on. They live on the other side of town, and they're radioing them to get on the roof. I told you earlier, my words aren't working today. To get on the roof. Get on the roof. And they weren't doing it. So I had to pause, because I was like, if my friend calls me and says, get in your car and drive north, just trust me. I might hesitate for like a second, like, but why? Like, what? No, I'm just going to get in my car. I'll start heading north, and then I'll ask questions. Like, I guess it worked out for these two, because their basement was a full ass arsenal, like cashed to the T with all the equipment to take these wormy guys out. But come on, get on the dang roof. I don't know. It's like a movie thing that happens. It's to draw out the suspense, but now it is a now or never moment. The worms have all of them surrounded. The floors are giving way. A bulldozer, they want to pull a trailer, but then it's pulling like a tank, like half of a tank, kind of like a half pipe. They throw out a lawnmower. They put a lawnmower in drive for distraction. They have to be smarter than these worms. And a loose pipe on the water tower is just the thing that Rhonda is able to kind of kick loose, and the water starts pouring. So now the worms are distracted away from Mr. Valentine, who's now on the ground trying to be a hero. So the tension is rising. It is now or never. Valentine gets to the dozer. Rhonda hops on. The others are on there too. And now to Bert and Reba. And of course they are fully stocked with artillery, and we're instilled with false hope, because, well, the worms dug a trap for these guys. The worms were smarter than the people. And we're back in Iraq again. And do you hear that little baby having a moment? And then we're back on a rock again. As a big old family, we're hanging out on a rock. And Earl never has a lighter. Y'all noticed that, right? Earl never has a lighter. But Valentine does. And because they're going creature fishing, they're going worm fishing. So they have these explosives, thanks to Bert. Love ya. They're able to kind of lure the creature in, light the fuse, throw the explosive. They suck it in, and it goes boom. Which was really cool, actually. They did a really good job with that. That was really cool to watch. And they're like, great, let's do it again. But it doesn't work. Sorry, excuse me. And it's like, finally a good idea. Run to the cliff. So this was a really great moment. And Valentine's like, of all the times, I don't have time to explain to you. You just have to trust me. And so they get the attention of this worm. They're running, and he's running after him under the ground, obviously. And he's like, I'm gonna get you guys. I'm smarter than you. So we got Rhonda, Valentine, Earl. Rhonda and Earl book it left and right. Valentine's like, hold on. And so he throws the explosive behind the worm, so the worm goes faster forwards. And then just in the nick of time, he jumps. The worm goes through the ground. It's now floating in the air because it's going off a cliff, and it takes a nosedive. Yay! Celebration time. But don't forget, it's also a love story. Does Valentine get the girl? It was a little touch and go there for a moment, even if she is a dirty blonde and not a true blonde. So of course they're smooching to end the movie. Roll credits, fade in some Reba, and it is a wrap. And I highly recommend Tremors. I can see why it was great then. I can see why it is great now. It kept you going. There were no real slow moments in the film. I still have some questions, but I believe that they kind of went into Tremors with the hopes of kind of creating a kind of world around it. So I thought it was great. I think you should watch it. I think everyone should watch it, and I highly suggest it. And I'm glad that I watched it, because now I can say that I've seen it. When people ask, "You've seen Tremors, right?" And usually I'm like, "No." You know, all the times people are inquiring about how many times you've seen Tremors. Yeah, you know. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do next week. We did kind of something modern-y with The Matrix a week prior. This week we did Tremors. I don't know. I'll figure it out. There's so many. I haven't seen anything. So if you have a suggestion, please let me know. I am open to any and all suggestions. So let's get into the juicy news bits. Let me have a little sip of my Culture Pop soda. This is the pink grapefruit, ginger, and juniper. It's delicious. So let's talk tech, shall we? So I've talked about AI a few times here. And just in that like month or so's time span, we have seen AI and its capabilities expand exponentially. And y'all know last week we covered The Matrix, so I am definitely a little bit concerned. Like, this past week, the Pope got caught in an AI trap. He didn't do it on purpose, but the Pope was the talk of the town before he got ill. Gosh, poor man. Terrible timing, you know? Terrible timing. But anywho, there was an image of the Pope full sending a white puffer trench going around the internet like wildfire. Iconic. I love it. I want it. I want the trench. I thought that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And it was hilarious. It was fun. And now it was at very first, I would say it would be about a 50-50 split. From a quick glance, to me, obviously, it was a fake. To a lot of people, they didn't know, and they weren't inspecting the photo enough to be able to tell that it was a fake. And people fell for it. And I get it, you know, first glance, if you're just scrolling, you know, if you're just swiping up, it's maybe you'd be like, wow, that's wild. But if you really use some critical thinking, most likely the Pope will not be seen out in public in front of his loyal followers, wearing a full-length white puffer trench coat from 2020, 21, 23. But I don't know, the Pope does, like, he do be rocking some drip sometimes, you know, like he's got all the, you know, but it was clear that it was a fake, but I think this is a great example in a fun, silly, goofy way to show just how easily people just go with it. Chrissy Teigen fell for it, saying on Twitter that there is no way she will be able to survive the future of technology. Many others fell for it too. But there are some very clear giveaways. Look at the hands. The one hand holding the bottle, the water bottle, glitched. It ain't right. It don't look right. But otherwise, the photo looks great. There are some difficulties, some technical difficulties in the photo, but otherwise it looks great. It's high resolution. It's a top tier photograph, which, you know, if you're moving quick on the interwebs, it doesn't look from what your brain kind of stereotypes as an AI generated photo. And so herein lies the question that I have, or like just conundrum, you know, concern, whatever. When this technology gets better, how will we be able to know that it is AI and not an actual photo a human took? So like, what are the rules and regulations of fakes? You know, we had deep fake happen where you can like change a face in a video. You can add sort of like an AI generated voice after kind of learning how the person speaks, and it gets really close, and it gets close, but it's pretty, you can tell, but from very early AI that we just had, that we were just kind of introduced to now, what's going to happen in a year from now, in 2 years from now, in 10 years from now? I don't know. I don't know. How can we control it, and how can it be controlled? You know, how can we put some kind of red tape around what it can and can't do? And we already went through the time of fake news. And to be honest, we're still in it. But imagine fake news supported by a mirage of almost perfectly believable photos to support and back up whatever claims we are trying to that are trying to be made. How can this be controlled? And should it be? I have so many questions. Just in general about AI, but the photo generation is wild. It is wild. And let's all remember, I want everyone to remember that Google reverse image is going to be your best friend if you have a question or don't know if an image is AI generated or not. Google reverse image. If it doesn't pop up, or if it pops up in one place and says, created by so-and-so generator or whatever, then it's AI. But some other ways that you can kind of tell if an image is AI generated: watermarks. Some AI image generators add a watermark on their photos as they generate it. So if it is watermarked, some have kind of like a little red, blue, black, white, tiny little square at like the bottom right. So others have kind of like word word stamped watermarks on them. Watermarks of any sort, and if it's not Getty Images, it's probably an AI generated. Glitches or inconsistencies, like the Pope's hand in the picture with the water bottle, it was off. If a door jamb is warped, or if eyeballs don't match, or eyebrows don't match, or teeth are majorly wonky, or like one's bigger than the other, or like there's like three that are like purple, those types of things are going to give away that it is an AI generated image. And some of this AI technology is free and open source, which means anyone can use it to post pictures, to send them to their parents, to share them with the world. And don't get duped. Like, you don't want to be the one who's like, whoa, I can't believe they've done this, but it's actually AI generated. So stay safe out there, folks. AI is taking over, but it's okay. We're fine. It's okay. Oh God. And of course we have to talk about Elon Musk and Twitter. Oh, I hate this man. Okay. So I've already said that I don't like this man, and I don't like this man, and it's okay. I don't like this man, but also I'm tired of this man. Go away. I want to like Twitter though. Like I've always kind of wanted to be a good tweeter, like I want to like Twitter, because Twitter is so fast. Like TikTok is fast, but it may not be fast specifically for you. Instagram is fast, but it may not be fast specifically for you. But Twitter, if you like click on something and you want to see all the replies immediately, you can. It may take a day for a kind of like viral video or like important news story to make it to your feed on TikTok or Instagram stories or something, or stories, reels like that. So I like Twitter because of how instant it can be, but Elon is a big jerk face. So let's talk about it. So the newest Twitter announcement, it hit us like a ton of bricks, apparently. So starting April 15th, only verified accounts will make it to Twitter's For You page. So if you go to Twitter, there's two pages. There's For You and something else. Whatever that something else is. Let's see. Let's figure it out. For You and Following. Those are the two pages. The For You and Following. And while at the same time he announced this, he announced that the verified system on Twitter, which gives you the blue check marks, will also be changing. So if you want a blue check mark, you got to pay. You got to pay, or get a gold check mark if you're a company, or a gray check mark if you're a government entity, like AOC has a gray check mark. The White House has a gray check mark. So this announcement made waves and got kind of like Tremors, underground waves full of emotion, waves of moans and groans, and Elon responded to many. And his response was dumb. So Cute Monster Dad, just some random response that I found. He said, you won't have verified accounts. You're referring to monthly Twitter Blue subscribers who receive a blue check mark if they pay the monthly fee. No ID verification involved, just payment confirmation. That won't bring back advertisers or much meaningful revenue. And Elon's response was, drumroll, $7. Just a $sign and 7. That's it. Literally, like, I can't make it up. He's such a jerk. $7 referring to that's all you'll have to pay. That's all it's gonna take is $7 monthly for you to have that blue check mark. That's it. While at the same time, Elon Musk wanting to make Twitter successful for everybody and to level the playing field, which we went over a couple weeks ago. He wants to level the playing field for Twitter and make it accessible for everybody. But don't forget you have to pay. But it's accessible for everybody if you can pay up $7 a month. So this was announced on March 27th, and many, many people who use and love Twitter made their voices heard. And on March 28th, less than 24 hours later, Elon tweeted, "Forgot to mention that accounts you follow directly will also be in for you, since you have explicitly asked for them." Well, thanks, Elon. Thanks. Appreciate that. And what I find amazing is the ring kissing of Elon Musk. Like, it blows my mind. Elon doesn't see people as people. We are numbers and $signs. And in removing the legacy checkmark system, which was you having like your name in news articles and you being a public figure for and having like public notoriety for whatever it is that you do. If you do things, if you great things, if you make things, whatever, right things, whatever you do, there was like a system that needed to be applied for and agreed to, and it wasn't based on like followers or anything. That's the legacy checkmark system. And he expects those who want to keep their check marks to pay up. He calls this leveling the playing field, but I call it a financial motivation to keep a dying social media hub alive, and I do not see it working out for him. Having public figures checkmarked, it means they are verified, not replicable by bots, which is going to be a problem the moment this is gotten rid of. Once he gets rid of this, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. And he'll see that and he'll learn, and then he'll change it back to whatever he wants to change it back to. And then we're all going to be like, oh my God, he changed the thing again. And it's going to still be annoying. And so to me, I'm done with Elon. He makes me ill. He's a creator of chaos. I'm not down with that. Oh man. Oh my goodness. It is 5:42. Guys, I have so many topics. Like I dug deep. I dug deep this week. Did you know Netflix has video games? Did you know Netflix has video games? Because I kind of knew about it, but I didn't know about it. So Netflix has video games that you can download to your phone. So if you have the Netflix app on your phone, I think you can download right from there, or you could probably sign in on a web browser and download them on your phone. And how fun, right? But my thing is, how fun would it be to turn on Netflix, not find anything to watch like normal, so you just play a game on Netflix using your phone as the controller? Because that's what they want to do. So an app developer actually found in the Netflix's code, they found code that says, a game on your TV needs a controller to play. Do you want to use this phone as a game controller? That's in the code. And I thought that was really cool because look, Netflix sucks. The price sucks. For as little actually good things they have, sucks. Netflix is so annoying. But this might be another avenue for me to kind of lessen my annoyance that I have with Netflix. So I'm definitely going to check these out. I'm going to play some games, and I'm going to update you guys next week on how I like the games. And also, for PC gamers, PC games are on the way, possibly from Netflix, because according to TechCrunch, there was an open position at Netflix a while ago for a game developer to work on a AAA PC game. And a AAA, when it comes to games, just means like big time. let's see, kind of like a big name game. So instead of what's a good example? Like a Mario level name versus kind of like an underground company name. Something that you just kind of stumble upon. Something that gets advertised versus something you stumble upon, I guess is the best. And so apparently there's like over 50 games that you can play on Netflix as of right now, and they're ready to unload more. They have like a crap more ready to go. So if you're bored, try Netflix games. I'm going to be trying them this week, and I will let you guys know. Maybe I could like screen record some of it. Maybe. I also really want to get to the point where I can like show you guys like play videos on my computer. So I'm working on things. So give it a go. If you're already paying for Netflix, you might as well, because it's there, right? Get your money's worth. Get all of your money's worth from Netflix, because they're jerks. Also, I don't think that it counts as your monthly login by just playing a game. So you still have to monthly log in to Netflix on your home's Wi-Fi. So do that. Yeah. Because that wasn't updated. A lot of people have missed that. Netflix updated. You have to log into your Netflix account on your home's Wi-Fi at least once every 31 days, or your account will be blocked. So set your alarms, I guess, or get rid of the whole thing. I don't know. There's only like 2 good things on Netflix anyway, and they're getting rid of one of them. They're getting rid of something that I'm really sad that they're getting rid of. But anyhow, you guys, this was a crazy week. I have so many topics. E3 is canceled. Do you guys like E3? E3 was E3, Electronic Entertainment Expo, the biggest expo of the year when it came to the game world, the game industry. It was everything. Thousands and thousands of people would show up and learn about what all the companies, all the brands, all the smaller brands coming up, creating kind of like partner level accessories, all the things about the game industry would be announced and shown off and played with and tested, and it was guys, come check all this stuff out. Like, we got stuff going on, booths after booths, games, toys, this, that, all the things. It was massive. It was a massive expo that the game industry held every year since 1995, and it has officially been canceled for like the next like 9 years or something like that. So why is it canceled? Okay. So it came out like a day or two ago, and we could have seen this coming, unfortunately. It was made official that it is donezo. PlayStation was like, we're going to do our own thing, thanks. And other big brands like all the other ones that elude me were like, yeah, we're also going to do our own thing, like Xbox, you know. They're like, no, thank you. That's okay. Because the cost of these booths to bring things, to pay the people who were there, to travel, to set up, to have everything ready, the cost of these booths was like ranging like from $5 to $10 million. I read it was really, really expensive in my brain. I mean, these big companies have a lot of money, so it's really not, you know, it's just a drop in the bucket for them. But like, when you're a normal person, you're like, $5 million for a booth. Yes, because it's like 3 days, and you're giving out a lot of stuff, and you're doing a lot of things. Wild. I couldn't even imagine that. So let me find here. So shelling out the dough and the time, and it started with 2020 being canceled. Obviously, the pandemic put a kibosh on events of like 40,000 people being in the same room. So that wasn't going to happen. 2021, it happened. And that was the last one. It is not happening. It didn't happen last year because of a lot of supply chain issues. There were some companies that backed out. And so 2021 was the last year of E3. Yeah. So now these companies are doing their own sort of announcements and holding their own, I guess you could just call them like they're holding their own trailers for what they're up to, what they're doing, kind of just like PlayStation Expo, Xbox Expo type of thing. So it's just them. You know how Apple will be like on the stage and they have the audience are like, "Welcome to Apple. This is their new iPhone," and it's like so annoying and the clickers never work right. But so they're going to be doing their own things and not having to compete with other people's times, looking at everything else, I guess. So without the big names supporting E3 is not happening, and it's pretty short notice, honestly. It was supposed to start June 13th, and it's March. It's the end of March. Like, tomorrow's April 1st. It's March. And so 3 months, less than 3 months, 4, 8, 9, 10 weeks is not a lot of time. Not a lot of time for a cancellation. I would understand 6 months, as calling it short, cutting it tight. But under 3 months is really, really short notice, and that's really sad. But a lot of companies backed out short notice too. So, but honestly, there wasn't a lot of care. There wasn't a lot of care in the community that it was canceled. People, look, there were people who were like bummed out because even if it's not ideal, it's still fun to go to an expo, and not public wasn't always allowed to go. A lot of people being invited, social media influencers, all those things. A lot of people had to be invited, but still there were a lot of times where the public was able to just kind of buy tickets to kind of special things. But people are kind of over it. I think that the expo world is kind of dead, right? I feel like COVID happened and we all kind of realized we have all this technology. We have computers and phones and tablets and this and that and this and that. And it's not necessary to like be shoulder to shoulder trying to get a glimpse at a table with something on it when we know what plastic looks like. There's a lot of not caring and stories on Reddit. I would highly suggest, you know what, let's actually hop over to Reddit right now and see what people are saying about it. I think that's a good idea. I think that is a great idea. Let's see. E3. Let's see what is happening. E3 canceled. I should have saved the page because I did watch a lot. I did see a lot about E3 breaking. This was 5 hours ago and no one cared. No one even cares. No one even cares. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention about AI. I have a post-it note. Because when I hear things, I have to tell you. So AI, let's go back to AI for just a little bit. AI was wild. And in India, okay, so India is backlogged with trials, like criminals, and like court hearings are backlogged because there's so many people in India, right? Like imagine getting all the people in. So India is having a problem with keeping up with the bad people doing bad things and getting them into court and getting them filtered either into, jail or whatever, in and out. You get the whole process of sorting out how much time or how much money, or if no time, if no money, needs to be served by the criminal, or may not be a criminal. So a judge in India decided to use ChatGPT to decide how much bail someone should be paying. And it was so fast. It was like, okay, cool, moving on, next. And I honestly think that this might be a good thing. If ChatGPT and just kind of AI is learned enough about people, and it can very easily learn India's rules and regulations of living and life, it would be able to very specifically narrow down what is supposed to be done in this situation. Now, when it comes to the morality, which is why we have a judge in the first place, they're able to kind of balance the weight of the punishment and the crime. That's their job, is to add a little to the left or the right as a judge. And I think being able to use that and then make a decision based on a very quick answer will not only save the judges' kind of mind, because they're going crazy over there. They're going crazy. They have no way of like controlling the system or speeding it up in any way, that it's just like, what do we do? And so one guy was like, let's see what happens. And it worked. It was quick. It was wild. So I think ChatGPT is going to be, or just kind of AI in general, is going to be seeping its way into our everyday lives. There's already, I went to like look at books online, and I came across a book that sounded very interesting, and I was like, I'll get that. And it was like AI generated. I'm like, oh no. Oh no, what do I do? I'm torn, because more of this is going to be happening. Guys, I have so many questions. I don't want to end on AI because I'm so confused, and I'm like kind of scared, and I'm kind of worried, but gosh, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Yeah. It's wild. Gwyneth Paltrow is free. Guys, have you guys been keeping up with the Gwyneth Paltrow trial? Let me do a really quick recap. Gwyneth Paltrow, she countersued a man who was suing her for a ski incident. It was a collision. Two people were skiing. They both collided. And the man was saying, Sanderson, Mr. Sanderson, I'll just call him, said that she skied into him. And Gwyneth was like, absolutely not. You skied into me. And this happened in 2016, 7 years ago. 3 years ago, they brought, Mr. Sanderson brought this case to court. And he brought this case up. They couldn't settle outside of court, so it went to a jury trial. The trial lasted for just about 2 weeks. Just about 10 days. It was supposed to be an 8-day trial. It might have been 9 days, something around there. They stuck pretty close to what was supposed to happen. The jury went out. Mr. Sanderson was asking for $3 million in damages. Gwyneth Paltrow countersuing Mr. Sanderson for one singular dollar, and attorney's fees, which I thought was pretty fair, honestly. I mean, she doesn't need money, and I think having the kind of like backhanded slap, I could pay my attorneys, but if you're going to take me to court, we could have settled outside of court. If you're going to take me to court and make this into a big, massive deal, put my life on hold, put my kids' lives on hold, you can also pay for my attorney's fees. And so that's what she did. They did it, and wow, it was wild. There was weird emotion. There was emotions. There was weird emotions. The man claimed Gwyneth skied into him. He had a traumatic brain injury, broken ribs. His life changed forever, but somehow he was able to travel abroad multiple times within the years after the injury. Gwyneth Paltrow lost half a day of skiing because her knee felt overstretched, and so she needed to go get a massage, and her kids and her boyfriend at the time, now husband, continued on skiing. So Gwyneth Paltrow actually on the stand was very believable, and yes, she is an actress, but it did not feel like a role she was playing. It felt like she was telling the truth. And it did very much feel like Mr. Sanderson, the man who's claiming she ran into him, was not. And the jury felt the same way because they declared Gwyneth Paltrow not the cause of the accident, and she won. So he needs to hand over the $1 and pay up those attorney's fees. I don't know if he has the money. Also, just a note, Mr. Sanderson was 69 when this happened. So that was 7 years ago. So he's 76, maybe 77. And he was claiming that this aged him above and beyond, even though gosh, man, if you're able to, I would definitely highly suggest watching, or maybe even just finding kind of like a clip breakdown of his daughters. He had daughters on the stand, and one of his daughters claimed he was in perfect health, even though he was blind in one eye, basically, deaf in an ear. He had colon cancer. He was in therapy for depression. He had this and that and this and that. And she's like, yeah, but he's in perfect health. The way I screamed. I watched almost every single day of this trial because I just had to. There was something just so strange about it. Gwyneth Paltrow at the beginning of the trial was so annoyed at being there. She was so annoyed. The lawyers were nonsensical. The Mr. Sanderson's lawyer called Gwyneth to the stand, and she was kind of fangirling. She had these kind of fangirl moments, and it was very uncomfortable. And our concern is like people who have just recently seen Gwyneth Paltrow's video on how she likes to stay her level of fit by just sipping bone broth once a day and having like IVs flow in like vitamins and nutrients into her body so she doesn't have to eat food. We all thought we were going to get that, and we did get a little bit of that. Gwyneth. But thankfully we were able to see a kind of humanness to her when she was on the stand, and the jury saw the same thing. And so now he's got to pay up. After the trial after the verdict was read, was one of the most interesting moments that I had, because that I've experienced watching kind of trials and because I love it so much. Mr. Sanderson was leaving, and he did his kind of mini press conference, little press briefing after the trial, and then he had another moment, and it was very like TMZ. Paparazzi kind of cornered him, and he just kept going. He just kept talking to these people. He just kept talking, and everyone was telling him not to, but he just kept going, which only solidified the fact that he was doing this for fame and fortune. And he mentioned multiple times that he was going to live on the internet forever because of this, which is clearly what he wanted, because he could have settled outside of court and no one would have known. But anywho, we also found out during the trial I found out during the trial that Gwyneth Paltrow, Goop, her company, doesn't actually own it. She owns a minority amount, so she's not even a majority owner of Goop. The things you learn. So it's wild. Well, it is 6:03. We've had a fun day. We've talked about a lot of things, and I'm going to go. I'm leaving. Goodbye. I'm going to go start my weekend. Tomorrow's April 1st, so be on the lookout for any fools acting foolish. Keep your head on a swivel. It's April Fool's Day. Don't get fooled. So anywho, that's what I have. Make sure you hit subscribe if you want to see more from Insane Games TV. I'm here Fridays at 5 p.m. for you. There's going to be new stuff popping up, so make sure you turn the bell icon on so you get notified for everything that you do. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at Here Let Me Help on YouTube or Lily's Lottery as well. I make a video kind of deep diving one particular topic on Here Let Me Help that goes up on the weekends, and then on Lily's Lottery I post about 4 or 5 times a week. I do a couple live streams in there as well, so it's just kind of a different side of me. So if you guys want some of that, you guys can follow me there. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will see you next week with a full iconic movie breakdown, and have a good rest of your night. See you later.